Good evening, everybody. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here, Pat on your back, personal fitness. Fourth quarter time. Hope everybody's getting set up, getting ready to go. Went with the Raptors shirt tonight, big basketball guy. Hey, Bonnie, welcome. Good to see you. Basketball's in quarters, 1 through 4. We've talked a few months ago about halftime being halfway through the year. Now we're kind of in that fourth quarter mark. We've got 3 months to go, October, November, December. So let's get into, hey, Catherine, welcome. Let's get into our plan for the rest of this year to not only finish it off strong and hit those goals that we set earlier this year, but also let's build that momentum for heading into 2022. Yes, it's October, I know, but let's start thinking already about 2022 so we can hit the ground running when it does get here. If you've been with us, we've talked before about how we don't want to wait till New Year's to set those resolutions or those goals. We want to start now thinking about what we're doing. It doesn't have to be concrete, but at least thinking about it so that when we get to January 1st, again, we already have momentum building. We already have some things in a row. Maybe we're organized and have our plan ready so that when, again, the 1st is there, we can hit the ground running. We're not trying to start from scratch and catch up. And then we kind of feel overwhelmed because then the 2nd comes, then the 3rd and the 4th, and resolutions. That's why they don't work. People wait till the 1st. They try to throw them in and cram them in and don't have a plan or maybe a really clear goal. And then they try to make them work. And then after a few weeks or months, maybe a lot of people, I think it's about 95 or 8%, don't follow through because they get overwhelmed. They don't have a plan in place. So that's why we're saying, let's start now. Let's finish this fourth quarter strong to get our goals this year kind of checked off, or at least progress towards a little more. And let's start to work towards 2022. So we're going to go over 4, since this is fourth quarter, we're going to talk about 4 ways to set ourselves up for a good fourth quarter, finish the year strong, and to build that momentum heading into 2022. So we're going to make sure that we get into that and finish that fourth quarter on a strong note. We always want to be building momentum. We always say ascend till the end here. We want to have that going on as well. We want to have a nice, strong fourth quarter to take us in. So 4 ways that we can, again, finish this quarter strong and, again, get that momentum going already for 2022 so we can make 2022 a great year. Again, if you're with us, we discussed how this year everyone said, oh, it's got to be better than 2020 because of the pandemic and everything. It could have been, but we had to make it that way. If you remember, we talked back in January about making it that way, manifesting it, taking action, being consistent, having that plan. We talked about different steps to do. Now, again, we're going to finish here strong so we can help make 2022 hopefully even better than 2021, because again, we always want to be getting better and progressing. So 4 ways. Let's get right into it with number 1. Number 1, review the game tape. So if you hear athletes talk, they review the game tape. They look at footage. They see what they've been doing. They look at themselves and their opponents to figure out what the opponent's doing to them. How can they adjust to that? What can they do to kind of counter attack whatever it is that their opponents are doing? So we want to do that. We want to take some time now. It's beginning of the month, so we usually chat about this anyway. We want to take some time to review what it is we've been doing. Not only the past month, let's go back the whole year, back from January until now. What have you been doing? What's been working? What isn't working? Hopefully, as we mentioned here, you're keeping track of it. You're writing notes, you're journaling, or you have a workout planner, or whatever it is, whatever you're working on, so you can go back and reflect and look and see what didn't work for you. Maybe go back even a year ago to October last year. Different time, obviously, and maybe different circumstances with the lockdowns and isolations and whatever stage we were in at the time. But maybe look back and see how did your year end last year? How did October to December work for you? And if there's something maybe that didn't work so well, make note of that to try to avoid that hiccup again this time around as you're going through. And then again, really dial in from January on to see what those goals were, what it is you're working towards. How's your progress? Were there bumps in the road? Probably. We all go through them. How did you handle them? How did you go through them? What caused them? And is there something we can do between now and, again, January 1st to make sure we don't have those bumps in the road again, so that we can, again, finish strong and keep checking off those goals so we can progress to the next goal? Because that's what we always want to do, right? Get on to that next goal. We're never done improving. We always want to keep going forward, ascend till the end as we're going through. So look at the game tape, review the journals, review the workout logs, review the posts on social media. If you've been maybe socially accountable by posting your results or your progress on social media, go back and look through some of those to try to find them and see what you've been doing. And again, bumps in the road, where are things you can look through? That's what athletes do. They look at not only themselves, what can I do to be better, but what do I need to do to work around the opponent? So for you, maybe the opponent's work, maybe it's your schedule, maybe it's trying to balance work, life, family. Maybe it's a skill. Maybe there's a skill you need to progress and work on and build on. Maybe that was your opponent. So look at that as well. And again, those are those roadblocks. How can you adjust your plan of attack to work around those, or to work through them, or to go over them or under them, however we need to get by those obstacles and get moving forward. So you want to go back and look at the tape. And again, we talk about this almost each month because we always want to be reviewing our progress and seeing how we're doing. But now, again, heading into that last quarter, that fourth quarter, we want to make sure that we're going forward as well with that. So the first one, again, review that game tape, take a look at it, what you're doing, and keeping yourself moving forward with that. Number two, once we review the tape or our footage, our progress, now let's make a game plan. Typically in the fourth quarter, you've had 3 quarters to go through already. Again, in the sport world, in a game like basketball, you want to finish that quarter strong, but you've got 3 quarters worth of things to look through. So again, we review the tape, review your notes, just like a coach would with their athletes. And now let's plan to finish the game strong. So maybe in basketball, maybe they're playing a zone defense on us. They're not playing man-to-man, person-to-person coverage. It's zone. Here's the offense we want to run. Let's change our offense a little bit. Instead of running this play and doing this, let's tweak it and go the other way on them. Or they can only defend us one way. Let's go the other way. Let's force them into their weak side instead of our weak side. Or let's press. Let's really go at them. When we get the ball, we run. We run it at them and really attack and get ourselves going. So you need to do the same thing as well. Let's make a game plan. You looked at your footage, you had 3 quarters to look at, maybe even, again, a year's worth. What can you do now to help you progress and move forward? What do you need to do between now and January 1st to finish that year strong? And you see here, I mentioned include your long-term goals. So 2022, what do you need to do to help you get into 2022 with some good momentum and some good positivity, some good results, and some clear goals and plans so that you know where you're going when the year hits. Thanks, Catherine. I really appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday as well. So game plan, again, write things down. Take some time. This is going to take time from other things, but that's okay. Take the time to do it. Then you know where you're going. Brendan Burchard, our pal that we refer to occasionally here, he likes to say, it's better to have the map before you go into the woods. So you know where you're going, you know what the routes are, you know what to avoid maybe. Same with our plan. We know what it is we're looking to accomplish. We know how we plan to accomplish. Again, it's a plan. It's not a manual. It's not set in stone. It's a plan. So it could be changed and adjusted where it needed to be. But we're better to have a plan and tweak it than to not have anything and have to create one in the middle of the fourth quarter. You wouldn't see a team try to plan an offense in the middle of the fourth quarter. It'd be something they've practiced already and gone through, and then maybe they would implement it or, again, tweak and adjust what they've already practiced a lot of times or had plans. So then their minds just have to do little bits, so it's not so overwhelming. Same thing for you. Make that game plan. Start thinking now, yes, into 2022. What's your plan going to be? What is it that your goals are for 2022? Start thinking of them. Now, you don't have to have them all right away, but think ahead. What is it I'm doing this year? How is that going to lead me into 2022? What's the next step from this one into 2022? And plan, write it down, make an agenda, map it on a big whiteboard, whatever works for you. Put it on your phone, whatever works for you, but make that game plan. And then if you have it somewhere, you can review it. You can see it. Again, if you go into a locker room, usually the coaches have plans up on a whiteboard. Or if it's football, they have a playbook and the quarterbacks have their plays here. They can look at it in their wristband and they hear it. They go through them. They have them set. Same thing for you. Create it, put it somewhere so you see it all the time. You can review it, refresh it, make sure it's there for you to keep you making choices that are congruent with your game plan, because you want to keep those things rolling together and moving flowing together nicely. Your choices influence the game plan influences your choices. So you want those two things to be working well with each other. So look at that plan. And again, try to think of as many obstacles and roadblocks as you can. What could come up that could be difficult for you? What could come up work-wise? What sort of scheduling things could come up? Think between October and December. There's Thanksgiving, there's Halloween, there's Remembrance Day, and then we get into Christmas holidays. So some of those things could impact what you're doing. Days off could impact your workplace. So that could impact the work you're doing. That could impact the resources you have available to help you get through some of these things. Maybe you're going to the gym still. Gym's closed maybe on a holiday, or reduced hours. And maybe it's harder to get in because of bookings and things like that. Try to think of all those circumstances to, again, plan ahead. We've talked about maintenance. We've talked about time away from your workouts, prepping for travel and being away. So try to bring all those things in and, again, include them in that game plan. So you can think, I've got to be away for work this week, and I know the gym's closed for maintenance this week, so I got to change my workouts a little bit and tweak them a little bit. Maybe I'll focus a little more on mind body work or stretching, flexibility training those weeks. So I'm still getting my routine, but maybe it's just a 10-minute thing instead of a 30 or 40-minute thing. Again, there's ways to work around that. We just have to plan ahead and think about it, and then we don't get overwhelmed when something comes up. We try to control the controllables. Control what we can so that when things unexpectedly come up, we can handle them because we're prepared for almost anything. Again, no guarantee you'll get 100% of the roadblocks and obstacles, but the things that you know are going to come up, plan around them, work through them now, not when they come up. So then again, it's a little easier to stay on routine with whatever your goal is, whether it's fitness or something else. So game plan, and again, think into 2022. What's the next step from this goal? Or maybe it's a completely different goal, but where are you going to go in 2022? Start to think about that now and try to have a really good idea of it soon, maybe within a week or so. Again, just to at least get that ball rolling and start that momentum. And if you're not sure right away, again, just book in a time. Like I say, give yourself a week from today. You have the Thanksgiving weekend, maybe you have a little bit of extra free time. You can work on it, plan it out a little bit, come back next week with your goals. If that's not enough time, then you know you and how you work, but really try to book a time to have it set up so that, again, you can get those first steps going, because those are always the hardest, right? The first step toward that goal is always the most difficult. Once you get going, you get that momentum, you get confidence, you get seeing results, and that helps you keep going forward. So that's number 2. So we had reviewed the game tape, number 1. Number 2, game plan from that game footage and set goals long term. So again, the team would have a game plan to finish that quarter strong to win the game, because their long-term goal is to win as many games as they can, to have good seeding in the playoffs, to hopefully have a good playoff run to win the championship, which is their ultimate goal, their long-term goal. And again, same with us. We want that championship. Now we're looking to win the championship for us this year and looking ahead to next year as well, to start putting those steps in place. Number 3, after you've done that, huddle up with your coach. If you're stuck, if you're having trouble, if you just can't get to that next level, or you're not sure where to go, huddle up with your coach. Hey, good team, they'll always have a little huddle first. They'll meet in the locker room. The coach will go over strategies. Here's what we're doing for the quarter. Or if it's just a short break, again, they'll huddle up. Hey, Allie. They'll huddle up together and they'll have a quick meeting. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. Let's change this on our offense. Our defense, let's change this because they're doing this to us. So again, maybe it's a good time to find that coach to help guide you through the rest of 2021 and into 2022, to help you get over that hump, to help you beat that opponent finally. And if you're a Raptors fan, you know for years we had trouble getting by LeBron James teams and by the Nets and by this and by that. And it took a lot of time and patience and planning and changes, tweaks here and there to finally get past these kind of demons we had to get through to get all the way. And we're no different. There's different obstacles, again, roadblocks, these things that maybe we just can't get by on our own. And that's where a coach and trainer comes in to help as well. So if you have one, maybe book a meeting. If you don't have one, maybe it's a great time to get one to help you, again, finish strong for 2021 and get into 2022 on that right foot and get that momentum going and have the results you deserve to have that operationally fit lifestyle and to have the success and energy and the plans and systems in place that you need to have that good quality of life. And if that's something you're looking for, feel free to reach out. We're taking on new clients still heading into the end of this year and setting up for next year as well. But that coach, again, can maybe just from an outside view sometimes very quickly can make just a little adjustment and know what it is you need. So those outside eyes sometimes are very helpful. I know thinking back to playing a soccer in senior high, we're having a game and doing some things and having trouble. And my coach I had in junior high wasn't coaching anymore. He was watching the games. And he came by and just came around to the sidelines and came around to our coach and to us at a time. And he gave us kind of a little tip and a couple of quick words. And he just saw something differently because he was outside. He wasn't as in depth with it as our coach was currently. But he understood the game and knew our goals and knew what we were doing. So he was, and knew most of us because he coached most of us. So he was able to come over and give a couple of quick tips that made a big difference for us. And again, the coach is no different than that for you here, giving you those quick tips, that advice, that guidance, or maybe that long-term plan that if you're having trouble developing that plan, we can sit together and figure out ways to make your fitness routine work with your schedule, or how to layer things or juggle things around, or have options for you to get through that as well. So again, review the game tape. After you do that, make a game plan, huddle up with your coach. And number 4, take timeouts when needed. And again, if you watch basketball, there's tons of timeouts, especially in that fourth quarter, heading down to the end. Lots of timeouts that are taken because, again, little mini adjustments are made, or they want someone to have a ball in a certain spot or to be ready for a certain play. So they make different adjustments, or maybe they want, say, me on defense because I'm a better rebounder at our end, but then they'll take me out for someone else who's a better scorer on the offensive end. So they'll call sometimes timeouts to make sure that sub can happen. So when you need to take timeouts, don't feel that because you have a plan made that you have to just follow it to the T right to the end. If it's not working, if those little hiccups, those roadblocks are there, call a timeout. Take some time, look at it, review it. Again, go back in your journal, in your workout log. What's been working? What's changed now to make this not work all of a sudden? What's different? What's the same? What do I need to change? Has it been too long since I've changed something or modified something? These are all different questions we need to ask. And again, sometimes an outside pair of eyes can really find those quick for you. But don't be afraid to call a timeout when you need to sometimes just to regroup and recharge and get away from things. Maybe to give things a break, put them aside, and then come back to them fresh. What a lot of times our timeouts are those adjustments. Here's the plan that we had for the fourth quarter. This part here isn't working. Let's adjust a little bit to try to make that work. Let's try this now. Try it for a bit, doesn't work, timeout. Okay, that didn't work. Let's go back to that. Let's try this change instead. In sports, you only get so many timeouts because they want to keep the game flowing and not have it last 4 days. But you have as many timeouts as you need. My only word of caution would be make sure your timeouts don't turn into avoidance, where you're always in timeout. Timeouts are temporary. Timeouts are little moments to take a break to, again, revisit, refresh. So maybe on a Sunday evening, if things are stuck, or a certain time of night, certain time of the week, things haven't been going well the last week or so. Timeout. Let's take a look. Let's look at my plan. Let's bring it out. What could I change? What could I adjust? Oh, I had planned to do this, but this work thing is new. This evening commitment is different. Okay, I got to readjust my plan for the rest of this fourth quarter so I can finish strong. Let's try this now. Let's move around. So don't be afraid to call those timeouts. But again, just make sure they're not turning into avoidance. You get a timeout, then you go back and play some more. If you need to, call a timeout, go back and play some more. But use them as you need to. And again, confer with your coach if you need to for that guidance. Or check in with that accountability partner that you have if you need to. Use the resources you have for you. So those are our 4 tips here. So we had, again, review the game tape. So review your journals, your logs, what's been working, what hasn't, what worked last year, what didn't in the fourth quarter. How can you kind of adjust to finish that quarter strong? Then make your plan based on that. What can I do now to ensure I finish the year strong? I check off the rest of those goals that are on my list. And what can I do now to make sure these goals maybe lead into 2022's goals? Or what am I going to do now? What do I want to do in 2022? And what can I start doing now to progress towards that? Because we've talked about having systems in place here. So now, again, we want to take the system you use this year and transfer it to next year's goal. So you should be able to get the ball rolling a little sooner because you have that system in place. You have that process. So why not take advantage of these 3 months left in this year and start working toward that goal as already to really get ourselves rolling and maybe accomplish that goal sooner or accomplish more goals next year than we did this year, or get a few things checked off our list. Number 3, huddle up with your coach. So again, review. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I've been doing. I'm not sure where I'm going wrong, what's stuck, or I think this is going well. Is there something I should change? What have you noticed about me or the opponent that maybe we need to work on? And get things, again, get yourself on the same page, get those outside eyes sometimes to take a look and help you work towards that goal, and just really fine tune your focus in your path to make sure you're going where you want to go. And number 4, for our 4 ways to finish the fourth quarter strong, take timeouts when you need them. Call them when you need to. Take those timeouts. You don't have to play the whole 12 minutes. Hey, well, you don't have to play thinking of a 12-minute quarter. You don't have to play the whole 30 minutes. Take timeouts when you need to. Take the time to sit back and refresh and take a look at things. Again, huddle up with that coach again if you need to, or look at the plans. Remember, we said put the plans on paper. Easy for me to say. And then see them. So they're there to remind you what they are, and then you can revisit them when you need to. And then, you know what? This part here isn't working. I've got to tweak that a little bit. I can't fit 4 1-hour workouts in every week. It's just not working. What do I need to do? Maybe 2 1 hours and 2 half hours, or 4 half hours, or 5 half hours instead. Maybe there's ways to work around it a little bit. So call a timeout when you need to, revisit the plan, adjust it to help you stay on track. But again, the word of caution, make sure timeouts don't become avoidance. Don't keep calling them. You can't call them back to back to back. You can call one, go back, do some more, call one when you need to, again, to revisit and keep yourself moving forward. So I've got one more. I've got a bonus tip. I'm going to hop into the comments here for just a sec for everyone being here. Lonnie says, I've been walking 10,000 steps per day or sometimes more, having fun with that. That's awesome, Lonnie. Great stuff. And again, having that goal, it's quite typically quite easy to keep track of those things now too, because our phones do it, our smartwatches do it, your Fitbits do it. Before, you'd have to buy a pedometer, make sure you had it on your waistband and get yourself tracking your steps. Now our phones keep track of it for us, typically, or your Fitbits that we have with us 99% of the time. So it's a great way to track the progress, track our goal every day. And again, you kind of look back and, oh, no, on Wednesday, I got 8,000. What was different about Wednesday from the other days? And then again, that's your footage. You go back to see it and try to think of the day. Maybe look at your agenda that day. Oh, I know I was busier in meetings and things came up, so I didn't have as much time to move around, or I wasn't as active at work as I usually am because I had to be in meetings. So what can I do to maybe adjust to that? That's great, Bonnie. Great job with that one. Natty, hello. Good to see you. Thanks for hopping on here, guys. Appreciate you being here. So we'll go through with my bonus round. I'd like to try to give a bonus, an overtime sort of tip to help us, again, work toward that strong fourth quarter. So just to review quickly one last time, if we want to finish that fourth quarter strong, so review the tape, make that game plan, huddle up with that coach, timeouts when you need them, and the bonus one I'd like you to try to work on to really, again, get the ball rolling. This is a little bit more of a 2022 one, but maybe even for now, it'll help you kind of get moving, and maybe having this in mind will help you with the rest of the goals this year, because again, you'll work towards that 2022 goal. I like you to start thinking of, if you remember we did this last year, your theme word for 2022. So there's a few different people out there that take part in this. They think of a theme word. What's my 2022 going to be? What was my 2021? They set a theme for the year and try very hard to follow that theme and stick to what's the theme going to be about. Am I launching new things? Am I diving deep into things? Am I trying to be more consistent? What's the word going to be? Mine for 2021 was growth. That was my theme for 2021. And I feel I was able to do some of that. I took some business courses and some online things and some workshops and some webinars, trying to read a little bit more as well to grow and to learn and to be able to do new things and be able to bring you guys more content. I'm trying to take in more so I can pass that knowledge and information onto you guys in our community here to help make the team better, not just making the team. So try to start thinking now. You don't have to have it right away, but try to think, if you did one for this year, what would your theme word be for 2022? Or if you haven't done one, maybe try to think of one. What would your theme be for 2022? We're hopefully coming out of year 2 of a pandemic. Hopefully that'll start to go away and start to fade out a little bit. Again, depending where you are right now watching this, some places are back kind of open. Some places have shut down again for third or fourth or fifth time. So again, we can't control that. That's going to be around. We want to control what we can. By trying to think of how you want 2022 to be, what's your theme word going to be? What do you want to accomplish in 2022? And again, when you think of that word, put it places so you see it, so you're reminded of it. Put it on your desktop. Put it on an alarm on your phone to go off once a day or a couple times a day to see it. Post it on the wall. Post it on your mirrors with a Post-it note. Your fridge, places you are frequently, so you see it and are reminded of it. And then again, as we see that, we'll make choices that are more congruent with that word, that theme, that'll help us keep moving forward. And again, making choices that will go with that. So maybe we'll make a better choice at dinner time. Maybe we'll make a better choice when planning some social activity. Maybe we'll make a better choice when it's time to get offline and get some rest and get some sleep, or to read a real book. Did anybody else enjoy the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp time yesterday? It was great. I was at work anyway, but I thought it was great. I didn't feel like I needed to check it to know what was going on. I knew if clients couldn't get a hold of me that used that because it was down. Anyone that needed to emailed me or sent me a text. And I left it off for most of the day. And I read a book. I read some of my book, a few different chapters in different times. I read a real book and spent time instead of spending time on Facebook. And it was nice. So again, quick reminder, take those times away from that stuff when you need to. Get the break from the social media, from the screens, from the negativity, from the noise. I watched a clip this morning about someone who was talking about the whistleblowers in Facebook who have come out to say that Facebook is on purpose, purposely showing us negative things to make us dispute and argue with each other, because they want people typing and commenting, and they want that interaction. So the algorithms go and you see more things, and they're kind of really filtering what it is you're seeing to try to get that sort of kind of fire burning. So you want to throw out your opinions and you want to comment on posts that people are saying. And this division that we have right now with all these different issues that are going on, they're kind of stoking that fire because it helps them. Because then they can say, hey, advertisers, look at all this traffic. Look at all these people. And then that's when we get the stuff we're seeing. So unplug sometimes. Take that time away. And it's hard. I have trouble with it too. Take that time. It's something I'm working on to really unplug. So that's your bonus tip in regards to social media. But try to think of your theme words for 2022. What are you going to do? What are you going to work on? How are you going to get better? What is it you have planned? What is your big goal? And think of your goal or goals that you have, and is there a common theme within them? Mine this year again was growth, because I wanted to launch a business. I wanted to be online more consistently with my workouts at first and PatFacts. And I did a lot of that stuff, and I tried to learn a lot about it as I was going through the year. And now I'm still growing. I'm looking to relaunch again. The on-demand workouts and the fitness coaching will be launching. So I'm trying to learn more about those and grow as a broadcaster, as a person of influence. I work with 3 different brands as an ambassador now, which has been a fun step to take. I lead communities online. I'm parts of other communities online through different avenues and venues. And it's been really fun to grow and evolve as a person and learn different things and different skills. So now my word for 2022, I've decided today, and I'll go share it with you guys first place to hear it. My word for 2022 is action. Too often I get caught up in the growth, the learning, the planning, putting things down, trying to figure it out. When's it going to work, and what's the best way to do it, and how should I get things going? But so I've decided to make my theme for next year action. Put things in place, get things going, get that on-demand fitness video system set back up through Patreon, get the online fitness coaching set up so clients can start taking sessions from me and getting better. I want people to be healthier and be operationally fit. So I need to take more action. So I've decided that 2022 for me is going to be a year of action, really putting things in place. And again, 2022 is my action theme year, but I'm not going to wait to start it then. I'm going to start it now and get things rolling so the action can be started already by the time 2022 rolls around. So we're already hitting the ground running. And there's tons of people here watching these, and there's tons taking videos and doing coaching, because I'm going to put things into action and have more products for you guys and more tips and more guests and more evolved programming, so that you can take better action as well and see the results that you want to see. And we can work on growing that community together and making it even bigger and more operationally fit. So that's my theme word for 2022. Again, give it some thought today. That's what I've decided. I'd love to hear yours. Again, it doesn't have to be now. I know it sort of threw it at you kind of quickly, but again, think about it. Give yourself some time when you sit and plan and go through your game plan for the rest of this year and starting to think about next year. As you start to set those goals, look for some commonalities. Or what does the big goal entail? Maybe it's launch, maybe it's consistency. Again, revisit last year to build a game plan for this year, finishing and into next year as well. And come up with those action words, or those theme words for 2022. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments here. Come back to the post after, let me know. Or again, next week when you come back, let us know what your theme might be for 2022 or possible themes. Maybe you have a few choices and you want to haven't narrowed it down yet. That's fine too. That's part of it, right? We brainstorm, we put ideas down, and then we narrow our focus when we find what's going to work best for us. So that's my bonus tip for you, kind of, again, to get you thinking of 2022 now. It's October. It's already October 6th. Okay, well, we have less than 3 months left of the year. Let's get next year, the ball rolling for that now, and let get us going forward as we go through. So again, one last time here, just to review, so you can think of them if you're taking them down for our fourth quarter, how to finish strong in the fourth quarter. So again, review your game tape. Take a look at what's going on, what's been working, at least this year, maybe even back to last October. Look for those good moments, troublesome moments. Look for those roadblocks. How can you avoid them, work around them, work through them, whatever it is, or not have them come up again. Then create that game plan. And again, think into 2022, not just this year, but into 2022 as well. Huddle up with your coach, get that guidance, get that in-depth, kind of look at those outside eyes, looking at your game plan to see what it is you need to do, or help you build that game plan so you know where it is you're going. Number 4, take timeouts when you need to. Take that time to step back, refresh, recharge, readjust, tweak the plan as you need to. Again, it's easier to tweak a plan that you already have than to start a plan from scratch, again, in the middle of the fourth quarter. You wouldn't want to do that. You want to go into the fourth quarter really executing your game plans, tweaking where you need to, call those timeouts as you need to. And the bonus I'd like to challenge you to do is think of your theme word for 2022. What is it that you're going to make 2022 about? Your goals, your ambitions, your desires, your family time, whatever it is. What do all those maybe have in common? Or what are you going to bring into the year to make it work for you? Maybe it is learning. Maybe it's growth. Maybe it's action. Maybe it's impact. Maybe it's a positivity pandemic. Maybe it's energy. Whatever it could be, think of what you want 2022 to be. And again, when you have that, then you'll start making choices and game plans to help you start working towards that. And then we can all have a wonderful, vibrant 2022 that, again, will take us into 2023. Something I've been working on as well is kind of long-term planning. I'm very short-term focused. So this is helping me to try to look ahead further down the road and get a little more efficient at that. Again, it's a skill. We have to build it up. It's a muscle. We have to get used to it and practice it and be patient with it and consistent with it, and we'll build that muscle up. And this framework should help you start to build up that muscle, so that, again, the next time you need to make a plan or think of that first quarter next year when January 1st hits, first quarter of the year, how are we going to start off the game? Well, we know we've already had 3 months of practice. Well, we finished the game of 2021. So now we've made some adjustments. We've got some new plays to go into 2022. and get the energy going. Let's start strong as well as finish strong. If we start off strong, then it gives us that momentum to take us through to halftime and then into the third and fourth quarters of next year. So we always want to be trying to think ahead and look ahead and have that energy always moving us forward. And that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you being here. Again, I'd love to hear from you what your themes are for 2022 when you have them. Again, if you don't yet, that's okay. Even your game plans, if there's certain goals or things you want to have planned or different objectives you're looking for, we'd love to hear from you. And really quickly, those that are here, and even if you're watching on replay as well, give me a 4 in the chat if you're ready to take this fourth quarter head on and set that plan and finish the year strong and head into 2022, again, on that right foot with good momentum, good focus, good game plan. And again, controlling what we can control and making it a wonderful year for us, not letting other people decide how the year is going to go. Not, hey, Lynn, welcome. Not letting officials and things decide how the year is going to go. Make the plan now. Let's see, no -4, Natty. I want a 4 or nothing from you. I want 8s from you. A 4 in the chat if you're ready to hit the ground running to win the rest of this year. I want you guys to have a good 2022, and that starts now. I don't care what anyone else says. I don't care about the hard year it's been. It's been hard for everybody, but we decide how we respond to it, and we decide how we react to it, and we decide what's going to happen going forward, not anybody else. And too many of us get too caught up in the whirlwind of the world and let other people decide what's going to happen to us. And I say, that's ridiculous. Don't. You decide. You control what you can control. There are so many factors you can control. Win the fourth quarter, get momentum going, start next year off great, and you can make it a good year. You can heal yourself and be stronger physically, mentally, prevent injuries from coming back or reoccurring or lingering. You can get your game plan in action. You can learn that new skill. You can launch that new business. You can get that promotion. You can get in better shape. You can have better relationships. Whatever it is your goal is, best time to start is right now. So enjoy the rest of the night. Again, take some time. It's Wednesday. Like I said, maybe take the weekend. Thanksgiving weekend, typically you have an extra day. If there's no work on Monday, enjoy the day off. But take some time. Maybe use that time wisely to plan for the rest of the year. Good stuff, Bonnie. See that 4 there. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Can't wait to hear about more progress from you and going on. But let's finish the year off strong, get into next year really well, and let's have a great, successful, energetic, vibrant year full of growth and fun and enjoyment and being able to see each other and spend time together safely because we put some onus on ourselves for our health and our lives and deciding what's going to go on. So 4's up. Finish the fourth quarter strong, guys. Thanks for being here. Stay safe. Take care. Keep that self-care ramped up. Remember, always make yourself the priority you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Have a great night, guys.